Hello people, Linker here, and today we're going to balance this tier list. There's a few movements to make, for example, Alna probably surpassing Talene, but for this video we have a different idea in mind. Lilith recently buffed Isabella in a very healthy fashion. She isn't going to be Ainz, but she does make it outside of that F tier, probably somewhere in the middle of B. However, in this video we're going over strong and weak heroes, addressing their designs, weaknesses and strength, and we're going to come up with possible solutions for Lilith to make these heroes in line. And you should definitely comment down below. I'll pass some of these suggestions forward to the devs, so feel free as you watch to tell me what you think about these changes. Starting off, let's talk about a special hero that I care a lot about. Let's talk about an overlooked hero, Seirus. Seirus, awesome hero idea, awesome design, just look at that guy go. He does three things. First of all, he's a tank with a signature item healing. He also has the passive for that. Second, he's a very interesting CC with the ultimate, knocking all the enemies back. And third, he does many knockups and knockbacks through his kit and furniture. The reason he's not used is that he's severely outclassed in all of these roles. The passive that used to be incredible now exists on many other tanks without such a hard requirement to activate. Some of these with higher percents like Arthur, Scrag, and even the new Isabella, as funny as it is. So the new signature item healing is nice, but it's way too slow to matter on its own, and his base stats aren't enough either. As for the CC, more flexible heroes like Tassi, Pipa, Mihira give him a solid run for his money, and the knockups are nice but not easy to do, as he can't frontline very well or survive through the fight. To fix Seirus while keeping true to his identity, I'd first give him a meaningful HP buff. I want to give him about 20% extra HP that will make him much tankier, able to handle frontline aggression. Second, I'd buff his passive. Damage that is less than 25% of his maximum health should be reduced by 60%. With those two buffs, he'll have significantly better ability to frontline, allowing the other parts of his kit to shine. So let's talk about them. Second, I'll make the furniture a part of Deluge. Deluge itself, much like Ren, allows when an enemy is knocked back to the end of the battlefield, they'll be hit with that knock-up wave. As for the new furniture, I'll make him grant tenacity to the whole team. That is a chance to ignore CC. It's a new ability and identity, but I think it fits his lore and what he looks like. It shouldn't be out of the box, so it isn't easy to just abuse in campaign to get CC immunity. Instead, after every time that he uses the ult, the furniture will give his ally a shroud of waves, increasing tenacity by 20 points. The Knight of the Nine can also increase their crit resistance by further 20 points. Note, the new hero is strong and new Seirus isn't going to be the same, and he can be an interesting tank against slow enemy teams, but he's still not broken. His weakness to burst, scaling HP, and counter healing remains. He still has no meaningful damage, but with those changes he'll find much more use with his knockback, giving us fun Kren Seirus teams to experiment with. Do you people like this idea? Let me know what hero you would like to rework below, like and subscribe for more content. And next, we're going to do something that Lilith does not do very often. We're going to nerf a hero. So, Thoran, let's nerf Thoran. Part of the glorious One Dance team is ultimate scales too well. I would simply put a cap on how much damage this can deal. I'd make it very high, like 1500% of his attack rating. This cap would enable him to still work where he does, but in some sets he'll need more attack buffs to pull it off. That way it'll take some thinking to see where his application is practical instead of just blind retrying against the wall. He'll still be incredibly strong and find use, but I think that will make him more healthy overall. And next up I want to talk about Solise. I think she deserves a buff. Note where she is in this list. She's a good hero, but much like Isabella, she hates burst. Nonetheless, she finds it hard to carry in high deficit, so let's help her, but we have to be gentle, because you know she's an enemy campaign stats, and she's very stronger there with the ultimate. So, we can't break campaign, we gotta keep her weaknesses, but capitalize on her strength. We should keep this as a centerpiece. If you burst her down, she should still be easy to win. But if you're using her and you're able to keep her safe, you should be rewarded. First, her CC is incredibly lackluster. The only form of CC in our whole kit is a 3-second stun on high cooldown. We can definitely bump that up to 5 seconds, giving her a meaningful way to handle aggression. Second, her blessing is nice. She gives an ally 25% damage reduction and 70% of her attack rating is healing per second. If she gives that to herself for that duration as well, she'll be able to sustain through hits if she's not under heavy CC. Lastly, I'd buff the Spectre health slightly. Currently, they're too squishy, making a win condition harder to maintain unless you really know what you're doing with the furniture. Bumping the Spectre up to 60% of her squishy HP bar is probably safe. It's kind of funny because that way she becomes a mastermind villain. As long as she's alive, she'll control the flow of battle and send their minions to protect her, but if she's caught off guard, it's all lost. Next up, and this is a really requirement. Really required. Yo, nerfing Rowan would be so easy too. It's funny how easy it is to do. His signature item should not give 400 energy to any ally. This is ridiculous ranking. It's just way too much. Make that 75 energy on the signature item. I'm scaling up to 125, 175, and lastly 250 energy, which is used when an ally hits 750 energy. And believe me, you'll still see use everywhere. We just took that down almost by a factor of 2, and believe me, Rowan will still be globally used. That's just how broken he is right now. And second, damage control gives him immunity every 3 seconds. I want to show you this. This is 3 seconds that he gets almost the entire complete immunity. That's just broken. You could nerf that down to 5 seconds. He'll still be strong, but just not as oppressively strong. You could take him down even more on accuracy and other aspects, but believe me, I think those nerfs will put him in a healthier place just for starters. Lastly, I want to talk about another hero that people tend to forget because his niche was kind of overridden, and I think this demands some sort of attention. Fawkes. He's about buff and debuff control, as well as single target control with the coffin. I would give him Furniture 9 as the passive on the ultimate. This thing, what it does is that it removes enemy buff effects when he successfully strikes them with his normal attacks. It doesn't remove allied debuffs though. As for his control, heroes like Odin really give Fawkes a run for his money, not to mention Tassie, so a bait, I would increase the duration to 10 seconds and shorten the animation. That thing takes a while to use and it's pretty short, so it becomes inefficient to use overall. Fawkes is a hero of single target control. The coffin is already long enough duration. I don't think you need to make it completely broken like 20 seconds, but it doesn't suffice to keep his endgame niche. You need to balance it, you need to rework it, give it extra spice. I would give him a unique new signature ability to rediscover his niche. It won't be easy to acquire, but in the new 999 that we put on the ultimate, I'll give Fawkes Coffin 50% to remove enemy crowd control immunity before it's used. This can't be completely oppressive, it won't break the hero, but it'll give him an interesting application in the endgame. For example, handling enemy ice ults once they get their signature items and get CC immune, and other enemies that get that as well in the very end game. People, this was very fun for me to make. I have many more interesting suggestions based on this tier list, but I'm gonna stop it here. Please let me know what you think about these below, any other suggestions you have, and for now, I've been Linker. Peace.